Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Ghost Prime, and as you know, we are here for Haslab Deathsaurus. Now, he was just recently released after a very long time, about a year in production, and he's coming to your door now if you pre-ordered him or you backed the Haslab. He is a fairly large figure, which is really cool. I'm glad they went large with him. Originally, he was going to be a partial of Studio Series 86 Grimlock and going to be a mainline release. Now, I don't see anything of Studio Series Grimlock on this, so this is entirely new. When I first heard that, I'm like, now you're making me pay a Haslab price for a mainline. They're not, actually. It's definitely its own thing. And you gotta love the crow on this. Deathsaurus was also a part of Transformers Victory, just like Victory Saber was. And he is basically after Earth's energy. Surprise, surprise.
Again?
But he wants to use it to power his battle station, or and take over the galaxy. Not too dissimilar than what a Decepticon warlord would want to do, right? So yeah, the series is from Transformers Victory, and he's really cool. Did have a Generation 1 figure, which I do not have. It's very expensive on the secondary market. So when I saw this there, I had to get it. Plus I have Victory Saber, so they kind of go together. Anyway, let me know what you like about this guy in the comments. And without any further ado, let's get to the review. And here is the box, and it is massive. You can tell, here's my hand. This thing is massive. The thing is really, really big. It's definitely a sight to behold when you have this thing in hand. It is big and has a presence. Really, really cool. Get the Legacy logo up here in like a purple foil. You have Transformers Japanese Victory there. Purple Transformers up the side. Again, the Victory logo up at the top. On the other side, some pieces here. You see the parts. On the back, what you can do with it. Let's see. And there we are. Transformers Victory, Deathsaurus. And I don't know if there's anything actually on the bottom. Nah, just copyright information. I have not opened this yet. It is still sealed, so got out my trusty scissors. Get this open. See if I can do this on camera, just because it is just massive. I may have a bit of a hard time doing this. There you go. Change the camera angle on this a bit. And the box. I have not seen this unwrapped. I know unboxed. I know they did it on Hasbros channel, but I did not watch that. I watched after I got out of the box, I kind of skipped around like you guys might do. You know who you are. So you guys don't have to watch me struggle getting all these parts out. It's another box. And one more box. That's what comes inside the very large box. Because it's on top, let's look at this one. Doesn't really feel very heavy. But let's see what we got. How does this open? There we go. Oh, there we go. Very nice. And let's start with the small. Kind of go with the small to largest. Oh, cool. So this looks like here's the throne, the weapons, which are all twist tied in there. So this must be the main event. Oh, there he is. Wow. If you could see it, that would be great. Beautiful. Really, really nice looking. Really nice. Instruction sheet down on their bottom. Okay, well, let me get this all out of the package, and I'll be right back. All right, and I got him out of the box, and he comes with a plethora of accessories.
A plethora.
Of course, he does come with the breast force pieces here. Here. He comes with a flail, kind of like Masterpiece Megatron's, with a nice chain. the gun here that actually will open up. The living flesh gun, I think it's called.
Ew, no.
If I remember correctly, move that down like that. Get that in focus. It is, I mean, it's large. It's just about as tall as he is. I mean, it's really cool. Very cool looking. And these here are articulated. So you can put them in different positions if you want. He has a port there. Of course, put him in his hands like this, kind of like the masterpiece, and some tabs there. Honestly, not sure what this is too. I'm assuming the chair, maybe some part for the stand, which this is the stand piece. The base for the stand and the chair. It would be nice if these were in two separate positions. I know it would kind of break this up a little bit, but I just think it'd be nice. You can have one either or. So I don't know if I could have both. Maybe I could put that on the bottom. I don't know. He comes with his big sword. Now, I wish this was chrome. It's done up in a nice silver paint, but I do wish it was chrome. You got some paint showing up there on either side of the hilt. Looks like he could hold it. He has an arrow, which is kind of a bummer because this came a little bent. I guess not too bad, but just the way it's packaged and no paint on that. You have a little piece right here that is for his shield or his tail, same thing, which is right here. That's where that piece goes. Now, forget these guys' names. I'm going to have to look that up for later. But the two Micromasters for the rest of the team that came with Victory Saber. And you get his throne. Now, I do want to say one thing about the throne. I was disappointed when I first looked at this throne. I like the sculpt work. I think the sculpt work is nice, but the only paint is this fade here, when it's actually supposed to look like this. So this does not look anything like it did in before it was made. I guess it's a cost cutting thing, but it's kind of annoying. But it is pretty hefty, big hefty chunk of plastic, and you could put some accessories on the back, which I will go over. And you get a set of instructions. You get the figure, which is just beautiful and huge, massive. Like he feels good. Like he just had a lot of chunk, clicky, which I'll go over all that. But I love this figure. I'll probably go over a couple more times just on the finishes and stuff they use on it. I think it's really, really great. Last but not least, I'm not taking out of the package, are the blast effect pieces that come in there. They're just like Jetfires. They're done in this like a kind of a, I don't want to say pink, a purplish pink color. I don't really display my figures with them. I put them away. These are just going to stay in the box. Okay, and let's take a look at the figure first, close up. So his head here, beautifully sculpted, wonderfully painted. I think most of it's painted. The faces, I'm not sure if the head actually is, but it's got the chrome crest on the top there, which looks really, really nice. I think it looks really good. I didn't even realize those moved. That's cool. I have no idea about those moving. And it's on, I don't know if it's on a ball joint. I think it's not. I can't really look up and down much, but it does look left to right. Just that much. It does not do 360. Either way, it looks pretty good. And then you got some paint on the shoulder and some slots there. That's actually for the gun. So he actually has shoulder articulation, which is difficult. There, right there. Tight joints, ratchets. No, well, let's see, maybe I could have butterfly. I'm not sure. Yeah, can't butterfly just because of the transformation. So he does have a bicep swivel. He has a single joint on the elbow. His fingers are jointed, and you can actually move them like that. Typewriter fingers, but he's got two. Uh, he has a wrist articulation as well. Moving down, so you got the chest that's painted and it's a flap, right? Because you have the breast force figures that go in there. Painted crotch, unpainted legs done in blue, painted kneecaps, painted blue and gold on the shins, and he does have a 360 waist rotation. Little flap here. Move that up and move the legs with nice ratchets all the way up around. He has thigh rotation all the way around, ratchety knees, more flaps that way. His feet kind of go a little bit down. If you move that, I don't. It's more for transformation. They have a very little bit of a rocker. Well, that's pretty much it. But I mean, some of the stuff I really like is the difference in like I think that's actually a plastic inset piece, the red here, and then it's painted. So the finishes are actually completely different, which look really good on it, even despite these not being chromed up. I think it looks really good. Like the gold there is not super bright, but it's nice. It's got a different gloss and finish on it than like the red, the black. These are little tiny like little things I appreciate in this, like the gloss and the matte finishes on it. I think are really really well done on this. I mean, as it should be. You expect it. If there's red on the side that show up on the arms, the knees here, which are interesting because they're cast in like a gold, but then they're painted gold, so it actually looks pretty good with the two different shades. One thing I did notice on it is I can't really tell in this light too much, but this does, maybe you can kind of see it, has some swirly metallic in it. So I hope this doesn't suffer from GPS down the line. Hopefully they have kind of nipped that sort of situation in the butt. Come to his shield here, which does attach on his right shoulder here by this little, then you attach this piece here somehow like this sideways, and then mount this directly onto his shoulder. So it looks something like that. Okay, so let's arm him up, and we just saw him get transformed, but let's arm him up. So he does turn into a gun. They move that this way. Take out these mounted cannons here, either side. Go ahead and fold up the legs. That's okay. Let me get that. That looks like just a ball joint. First time that's happened. Good thing it is a ball joint. There we go. Then we take the wings, fold the tips back in. Just basically make a square out of it, a box out of it, not a square, but a rectangle or a box. And this piece goes down, and he can actually take it in his hand. And you got the peg and the slot, a la Masterpiece. I could find it in there, and you can hold it like so. Okay. Or again, we could store him in the chest if we want. But right now, I'm gonna put that down because we are gonna make the other thing he can do, which is there are tabs here, and that's for when we transform him into a bow. I'm gonna move the mouth back in and put those up out of the way just for now. So we're going to put the feet back in. On either side. So just move this from under. Maybe I get it from under. Cannot. That goes under like that. And now it connects on here, the slot right there. You can see it. Oh, there we go. Like that. I was doing it wrong. This goes straight out. There. That. And this piece, I really need to get this piece out somehow. So I'm going to lift it up. The underside. There we go. Fold them back in. I got that out. There's a little slot right there, which is for the arrow. Take these. I think we keep them out or push them back in. I don't think it really matters. And this where's the arrow? Where to put the arrow? The arrow slots in here. I think it depends on how far back you want to pull it, right? There's a slots right there that slot into here. So we're gonna, let me take off the arrow for now. Make this a little easier. Oh, so take that, and these go right there. It holds it like that. You take his other hand, and like this. Move 2 fingers down so he has his bow fingers. And see how far back it needs to be. All the way back. Then slot that back in. There. So like, there he is, firing his bow. And that's kind of cool. I think it's cool that they did that. It's really, really neat. And it's an extra functionality, and you get some good posing out of it too. And I actually think it looks really good. And it's solid. It's really, really nice and solid. Good. Just put him over here for a second. And I incorporated most of them. I mean, this thing here is still not in his chest, but most of the stuff is on there, except for the gun and this. So this could be there. So let's go ahead and take a look at. Well, actually, let's not do the chair yet. Let's do the stand. Check out the stand. So the stand is 2-directional, like same as like the Masterpiece Seekers, here or here, and slide it like so. Probably the other way as well. He should have a port right there in the back. Actually, let's move this the other way. Turn that around if we have the big port in front. And then we go ahead and stick that right there. Now he doesn't need it to stand like this because obviously he's real close, but that kind of annoying. He's up off the ground. If you want him to be in like a jumping pose or something like that. This is not really much of a pose, but you get the idea. I did just notice that. I remember that being there as prominent. That's annoying because it's not like that on the other one. So let's go ahead and remove this for a second. And then we're going to take the chair, throne, see the 4 posts, and that just goes right into the stand, just like that. And this is where he could sit. So first things first, let's take this in here and see if I can figure out how this is supposed to fit in the back. Needs to be folded up. Like so. I guess I didn't have him hold this, did I? Before I forget and put it away, and it's gone forever. There's 2 slots on the very end on top of his shoulder here on either arm. So and slot that in if I could get in there. There we go. So he could hold his gun like that. And it is a massive weapon. Ooh, that's tight. There we go. So as I was saying beforehand, fold this back up. Like that, and this, you can see, fits right here. And that's where this little port is for. So go ahead and slot that right in the back of the throne. Let's actually move that down just a tad. Right in the back of the throne, just like that. And then we can also take the flail. There we go. That hangs in the back like that. These 2 are for these 2 ports right here. The arrow right here. And the sword can also be hung up. According to the instructions, it goes right here. I guess I should have saw that right away, but I did not. There we go. That's like that. And there's his accessories on the back of the throne. So we turn that around. There's the throne. Let's go ahead and a couple other things we could do. But let's take this off here and move this back around. In. Go ahead and stick that right there in this chest. Oh, we do have this piece here. I think can also fit back here. I think that fits right there. I totally forgot about his shield. There we go. That's all the stuff. And it's cool to have all the stuff right behind the throne, which is really neat. Let's get him in the throne. His wings, arm down, flaps up. And then chicken head goes in there somehow. So if I get him, these legs further out like that. There we go. The chicken head in the back. That's actually what keeps him in there. There we go. There he is in his throne. And lastly, we could take eagle breast here. The tiger breast stays on the chest because it just looks cool. I mean, you could have it by his side too. There's plenty of times where in the cartoon he was there. But this is pretty cool because this has little holes in the feet that if I can reach this, see, the two little pegs on the top. I can get that in there. There. So that is cool. And I might just display him in his throne. I have not decided yet. It'd be a nice way to have everything together. Firstly, let's bring in last year's Victory Saber. And that is in his complete full combined form. And they are just about the same height. So as you see, they are large. For an example, here's how he is with Cybertron Primus. So he's just about the same height. Definitely not the same amount of plastic, just about the same height. Then we got the little guys, Boater, and Peepo, I don't know how to say his name. Right here. And Fire. And I think his name was Holly, if I remember correctly. I get him to stand up even. There we go. There's the rescue team right there, which is cool that they included those. Feel like maybe it's something they didn't need to, but they did. So there's the whole team. All right. So let's get into transformation. Now, one of the things about this is that it was originally going to be a retool of Studio Series Grimlock. And I don't see it really sharing much of any engineering with him at all. So that's good. So it's entirely new. This was going to be originally planned for the Legacy line, and I'm glad they didn't. This plastic is nice, it's thick, it feels sturdy. I don't have any problems with that. Transforming him is relatively easy. He's not a hard figure to transform. If I could figure it out again. So let's go ahead and move the head. We could actually just go ahead and move the head out all the way. So I'll put the head back, and I want to make sure it does not scrape. And then slot these tabs there, and that kind of loosely snaps. So now we have something that looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and untab these pieces here, and then move them up and around. So you see I'm pulling out and around, out and around. And then these just fold up as these two little tabs into that slot, both at the same time. I get them in there, just like so. So that's what we have right now. Easy peasy. Okay, and then the arms, I'll move this out of the way real quick. Let's have this right here. They come untabbed. Go ahead and move those up first. Okay, get them out of the way. Untabbed like that. These open. Wings come up and flip forward. Like that. Now you could take this out if you're worried about the plastic. I think I'm going to do. You put it back later. Just gonna leave it like that for right now. Don't want to have any scratched chrome. I mean, it looks so nice. It would be a shame. So then there are these panels on the back. Let's take the heel first, though. Go ahead and put the heels on either side of the foot. Take this panel, move that up, fold it in, open it up. And you just take that and, oh, yes, take the knee, move that knee forward. Now you can move the whole piece around. And do that for both sides. Now, they don't really tab together. If I could get the camera there, you could actually see. So these don't tab together like this. They will stay because you have to tab the tail. Then you just put those like this. So you have something that looks like that so far. This is actually a connection point I don't care for. You take this, you move that around. See, there's a swivel right there. And then these pieces here that hold on the arms slot in this, are supposed to snap actually in the leg there. And it's not a super secure fit. You do that for both. But first, once you have that, you go ahead and take this part of the wrist here and open that up. This comes down. The fist goes in while simultaneously pulling this other part down and around. Then the foot here, and close it up. And let's make sure, see if I can get this to stay on either side. Usually I get one in, the other one pops out. They just kind of stick out the front there. Re-snap these together for like the 6th or 7th time at this point, probably. Okay, now that you got them both in, take these arms right here, move them around. Right? And you go ahead and extend them. Take the head and reconnect it. At this point, it comes off. And move that down. This doesn't actually stay super well. Doesn't really snap in tightly. Oop, hit the camera. So also spread the toes out either side. Re-snap this into place for the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th time. Let's set them down for a second. Take the shield piece and close that up. And these tabs, or these right in here, slots together. Holds pretty nice. And then what you're going to want to do is, so you see how these knee portions are still up? There are 2 slots here and here, and there's these pegs. This just slides in to those 2 pegs, and then these feet come over pegs in here. I get it directly right, you put it like that, and it holds tight. And there he is in his robot chicken mode. So, I mean, I think he looks okay. He definitely looks like the toy. So that's not too bad. If you do want to put this in here, you can carry it like that. It does change the wingspan a little bit. You leave the wings a little open. Again, for the sake of not scratching it, I'm not going to bother with that. But yeah, he looks okay. The feet do just jut out the front, which is a lot like the original toy. And the hips are very wide. Again, much like the original toy. He has a little bit of articulation that shows up here, like right here, which is kind of cool. The arms, this is on a ball joint. This is a mushroom pig. He does have bicep swivel. He has an elbow on both sides. His head goes up and down, and there's a flap here. So you can move it like that and keep it covered, which is kind of cool. Mouth. I really don't want to move the legs too much because they just like to come undone. But he stands up fairly well without having the tail. And so I think that's really cool. And he does have a port in the mouth, so you can use a blast effect piece on him. I happen to have one. That does fit. And he has a gold beak. Now, this isn't chrome. This would be really cool if this was chromed, if they actually chromed the whole thing like the original toy. But you just can't have everything, even with a Haslab. Red eyes. Like how the chest folds up here is really cool. Everything looks pretty good. Over here at the wings. Here's the back. The wings do have articulation, so you can flap and move them up and down. Of course, the legs have, knee. I guess that's a thigh swivel. Same ratcheted right there. And there's a way, so let's see if I can get him to stand up real quick. I'm gonna bring back in the stand. That goes on like that. And then there is a port right there. And you can see this little triangle piece, which will fit right there. So that fits. I have to get that hole. There we go. Just like that. So you can actually have them running or flying or whatever the case may be, however you want to display them like that in robot chicken mode. So, or if you prefer the death chicken. Honestly, I think the robot mode is much better than the chicken mode, but I digress. It is very similar to the original in a lot of ways. All right, one last thing I do want to show before we get into the final thoughts is that he can hold this in the death chicken mode. So go ahead and slot that into the shoulder. There we go. That is a strong point. And so he could wield the metal destroying cannon like that. Maybe shooting to the ground, but can't really move it. But that's how he could actually wield the metal destroying cannon in death chicken mode, which is kind of cool. Let's get into some final thoughts of this guy. So I actually really like this figure. I am pleasantly surprised, especially after everything that happened with Victory Saber and Star Saber with some of the QC issues and all these other things. I mean, he's not a perfect figure by any means, but I think he's really good, and he honestly looks just gorgeous. It is a very beautiful looking figure. I think he feels very solid. The plastic quality feels really good. The joints are really strong. He holds his weapons really well. He does what he needs to do. He's not. He doesn't have a lot of flaws. Those little clips that go into the legs for his arms, those are annoying. I think that's probably the one thing that really bothers me about it is that. Otherwise, I think it's pretty good. The different paint on the throne notwithstanding, of course, that's a minor annoyance. Otherwise, I'm super happy with this figure, and there's just the plethora of accessories that it comes with. Honestly, at the same price as Victory Saber, I feel like I'm getting a better quality figure for this. They really learned from their mistakes on this one, and packed this thing super well, and it came really, really protected, which is good. So, if you have one coming, hopefully you can rest assured that it will be nice. Now, mine does have this little separation here. I don't know if that's screws. I could try to tighten it a bit, see if that's the problem. But, your miles may vary on these things. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next review.